Let's go to Nashville, home of Marsh's favorite NFL team. But we're going to talk about the Vanderbilt Commodores, coming off what I feel like has to be considered the best season ever in Vanderbilt football history. Right? I know they had some success under James Franklin before he moved on to Penn State, but I mean, 10-3 last year. I think they finished 14th, 15th for the college football playoff, kind of right on the outside looking in. Magical season under Diego Pavia. Only losses were at Alabama and at Texas, and then their bowl game, which no one really cares about bowl games anymore. But they finished the regular season 10-2 with only losses at Alabama and at Texas. So obviously they lose kind of their do everything quarterback in Diego, but I think Clark Lea is an excellent coach. I think Vanderbilt has some real money to spend in this NIL era. They brought in a 5-star quarterback to compete with a veteran and Jared Curtis. I'm very interested in Vanderbilt this year. I think over 5.5, to me, that might be one of my picks of the night, in terms of just buying in on the Clark Lea stability and buying low on maybe a program that people feel is due for a major drop off with losing Pavia. But I like Vanderbilt, and I'm excited to hear what you guys think. Ryan, I'll come to you first on this one. Where are you on year one post Diego Pavia Vanderbilt Commodores?
I'm right there with you. I think that over 5.5 number is intriguing as well. I think that interesting enough that Auburn game week 4 might be key for them. So I don't know how both those teams can hit the over, but Vanderbilt does have some other winnable games with a stretch where you play Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State. In the SEC, you don't get much better than that. They have Austin P, Delaware, NC State. So there's some winnable games. Florida, Tennessee. I like Clark Lea a lot. When Michigan job was open, his name was floated a little bit. I didn't see it too seriously, but that would have been the name where I don't think it would have been a very sexy hire, but I think that would have been a hire where I would have been very confident that shit would have got turned around, because I think he's a great coach. I think he's proven that. You do what he did at Vanderbilt in the SEC, it's very, very impressive. And this might be crazy to say, I don't know if they will actually miss Diego Pavia as much as you would think right off the top. Obviously, he was a Heisman level quarterback, but I think they're going to be able to do a lot of the stuff they did the last couple of years with him, with a new quarterback. So I like the over 5.5. I like Vanderbilt and the trajectory of their program still, the money, the school, the city. So I think if you're Vanderbilt, you do everything you can to hold on to Clark Lea for as long as you can.
Marsh, I think there's a lot of things working in Vanderbilt's favor. With it's the number one city, I think, in the SEC. Austin's very cool too. Thinking about now the Big 12 teams that the SEC's brought over, but I mean, it's either one or two with Austin, right? So you got one of the best cities in the SEC that you're recruiting to. I think Diego Pavia and some of these comedians, like it's weird to even bring up, but like some of these comedians, you got Nate Bargatze, you got Theo Vaughn, like you got some like cool pop culture like guys that like younger 17 to 22-year-olds like look up to and think are cool, funny. Like there's some real, like this isn't like, oh, we caught lightning in a bottle with Jay Cutler back in the day, and like there's some real kind of positive momentum trends with this Vanderbilt program that you can point to and say, no, this program can recruit and compete at the highest level with the Georgias, the LSUs of the world. Do you see it the same way?
Well, let's not forget Florida, Auburn, Penn State all came calling for Clark Lea. And Clark Lea told him to kick fucking rocks because he played fullback of all positions at Vanderbilt University. The guy is dedicated. I don't know if you watched the SEC documentary last season. He basically went there with his best friend. He basically said, hey, I'm not going anywhere. We're going to build this thing into a national title contender. And I love Clark Lea. What better way to build a foundation like that than to do it at your alma mater, where you're saying, we know that we sucked for a long time. We've never proved anything. We've never done anything. Last year was the first taste of success at Vanderbilt University. And why not parlay it with the NFL team that's going to take the biggest rise this season, and the Tennessee Titans? I mean, if we're looking at overall win totals, I'm taking over at Vanderbilt. I'm taking over on the Titans. I think the city of Nashville is absolutely fucking buzzing this season in the football realm. You got Bussin' with the Boys out there, probably pumping everybody's tires along the same way. I love what Vanderbilt is doing. I look at Jarrett Curtis. Jarrett Curtis was a 5-star quarterback. When the hell is the last time you heard a 5-star quarterback go to fucking Vanderbilt University? Okay. He took Georgia, cucked the Bulldogs, and said, I'm going to Nashville. It's a better city, better looking women, better pro football. That's where I'm going. And I love every second of it. So I look at this team. Martel Hight is a player that stands out too. We've got the Travis Hunter of the SEC finally. Sure, Travis, nothing against him. Absolute phenomenal athlete, incredible player. We saw what the Jags did to trade up and get him as a two-way corner and wide receiver. I'm interested to see how that works in the SEC, frankly. We're playing with the big dogs here. Number of plays, the production. I would like to see how that turns out. But Sedrick Alexander comes back. Guy had 15 touchdowns at the running back position last year. I mean, that's the definition of stabilization when it comes to offense. It'll give Jarrett Curtis, who I ultimately think is going to win the starting nod, a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of security there. But I just want to call out too what Clark Lea has done for this program. Look at the transfer portal. Look at the players that have come to Vanderbilt, not left Vanderbilt. They have come to Vanderbilt. C.J. Jackson from LSU. Micah DeBose, Alabama. Cole Adams, Alabama. Ricardo Jones, Clemson. Kobe Sellers, Texas A&M. I mean, the list goes on, and that's not even mentioning some of the Big Ten and ACC schools. But you're talking about a program that used to be the toilet paper of the SEC. They were the dude wipes of the Southeast Conference. And now Clark Lea has turned the ship. He's turned the tide. And I love seeing it. No better city to see success. I hope they pack the stadium. I hope they get a stadium renovation, frankly, just build it into, some of these Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma type cities, Texas, whatever it is, because this town can support it. And Clark Lea will provide.
Yeah, sounds like we're all pretty aligned. We're all, fairly bullish, and it doesn't sound like any of us would take the under. I look at their schedule. I think I can find 6 wins on there between Austin Peay and Delaware to open the season, and then an NC State game at home in week 3. NC State will be another litmus test game for the SEC, but a winnable game for Vandy. And then, like Ryan said, you got in the middle of the season, you go Arkansas at Kentucky at Mississippi State with a bye game in between the 2 road games at Kentucky and Mississippi State. Can you beat Tennessee at home? Can you beat an Ole Miss at home? Can you go to Auburn? Could you go to Florida and pick up a win in one of those games where maybe more of like a toss-up game? This program, this coach have shown that they're able to kind of win a close game, win games against teams that they're not supposed to. So I kind of love this over a 5.5. It's not even real crazy juice. I don't think it's -130 over 5.5. That's in the running for me, boys, and my over under of the conference on this one.
The craziest thing is Vanderbilt has the easiest schedule in the SEC. So you combine that with everything we just talked about, there's a lot of confidence to take that bet. And I think, frankly, we're all highly responsible to do so at this point.